some reason, it just suits, our game just suits the style of Indigenous players. Like, they are some of the most talented players over generations. You look now and some of the Indigenous players of today, but you look at the Greg Inglis's, the Arthur Beetsons, Preston Campbell's. There's some of the most entertaining players in our game. So I love the jerseys. I think they've done a great job with the jerseys, and yeah, it's a real celebration.
There's been some beautiful moments in the pre-match ceremonies, but also on the field as well, some cracking matches. So let's take a look at the results so far from the weekend. The Bulldogs, they proved they can play wet weather footy, a great win over the Warriors. The Roosters demolished the Dolphins. This one was absolute carnage. 4 players sent to the bin. Was it the right call? We'll dive into that shortly. The Dragons caused a monumental upset over the Sharkies. The Raiders go to the top of the ladder, and the Seagulls' finals hopes, well, they are all but over. The mighty Penrith Panthers, they are back inside the top 4. Can they do the unthinkable and make it 5 premierships in a row? And the Storm beat the Broncos. The big story to come out of that one is 3 serious hamstring injuries for Brisbane. So, Billy, take us through the ladder as it stands with a couple of games still to play.
Yeah, over the next month, it'll be a case of snakes and ladders for the NRL ladder. And you look at the top 4, all of those top 4 teams posted victories over the weekend, and they're sitting pretty. The big one is the Penrith Panthers. Can you believe in round 12 that they were sitting last? They have not lost a game since round 12, and that's why they're sitting in 4th position and have everyone looking over their shoulders. The rest of the 8, they're certainly wobbling. The Warriors are wobbling, the Broncos, Sharks, the Dolphins. The team that is on the rise are the Roosters. They played incredibly well on the weekend and hitting their straps at the right time. Big game this afternoon, Titans and Rabbitohs. That could decide the wooden spoon.
Yep. Lots to look forward to, but let's dive straight into our Sunday roast, and we have to talk about the epic footy that unfolded yesterday. We had Saturday night footy back here on 9, which was great. Freddie, you were calling this one alongside Billy, and there are a lot of question marks about the Dogs and their wet weather footy, but they proved that they can do it, and all the usual suspects, Burton, Crichton, Galvin on full display.
Well, if you looked at just what the Dogs did, it was the perfect wet weather game. The way they played, they moved the ball. Their kicking game was brilliant. They made few errors. They completed high. It was brilliant. You nearly have to go over and watch it again to see what sort of impact the actual Warriors had. I don't know how much pressure they put on the Bulldogs at all. You look at some of these tries being scored. They just ran through tackles. They missed no tackles. Perfect wet weather game.
Not bad for a team that don't like playing in the wet or have poor wet weather form. I agree. I thought they kicked really early. I thought that was a tactic that served them well. 3rd tackle, probably on 3 or 4 occasions, Matt Burton used his boot. He actually got a 40-20 off an offload, 3rd tackle, and kicked it long. I thought Kurt Mann made a real difference when he came on the field. That's when they started opening up and using the football, but they played the percentages. I actually think the wet weather suits their style. It's actually a style that, stands up in wet weather, which Cameron Ciraldo mentioned in the post-match press conference. But, yeah, they're doing a few things right. They've got the best defence in the comp, and they're getting back to that best defensive game. So getting it right at the right time.
What about Warriors are a chance of falling out of the 8. Looking at them,
they've lost 3 in a row.
Yeah,
and now outside the top 4 for the first time since round 6. Obviously, history tells us you can't win the comp from outside the top 4. But are the Warriors the exception where you wouldn't mind finishing 5th? You get a home final to start with. Given the travel, you'd still always rather top 4.
They're absolutely gone. Unfortunately, they've had no luck towards the end of the year. Losing Luke Metcalf, it's crippled them.
Well, I think they went for a change. They brought Tamari Martin in, and it didn't work. He got knocked out, HIA, so it was grade 1, so he's out for another week. So Tanner Boyd will likely come back into halfback. So I thought that was going to be maybe a change, and they could have developed from that, but it went backwards. So it's hard to know how it's going to go from here.
Wade Egan is a big omission as well. Sam Healy, he did a great job when he came on, a point of difference, attacked from dummy half. I think they missed Wade Egan. What you can't do, well, to win the competition, you need to be playing your best football. And you need to be playing it in August. You can't be playing it in September. You can't flick the switch in September. So you need to build, and that's what they're not doing at the moment. They're not playing their best football at the moment. And if they can find it, sure, they're a chance. But you know, they're way off.
It was absolute carnage up at Suncorp Stadium. The Roosters demolishing the Dolphins, but the big talking point out of this one was the push and shove. So there was a little moment here. This sort of started it all, and then there was an all-in brawl where, here it is. So 4 players get sent to the bin. Was that over the top, Billy, that Christian Wolf wasn't happy with the fact that his players are just simply defending themselves? Would it have been sufficient that just Spencer got binned?
Well, to start with, for all of us sitting at home and calling the game, it is great theatre. It is outstanding theatre. But for the people involved in the game, is it fair? Probably not. Christian Wolf was asking the question, well, what did his players do wrong? You know, there was a slight high tackle. They got penalised for it. And then Spencer ran in from about 15 metres away. That was let go. There was a warning. And then I thought the Roosters started the push and shove in the in goal. The Dolphins were just standing there after they'd got a try scored against them. So what did you want the Dolphins to do? So the concerning thing for me were the referees asking for 2 and 2. You know, asking for 2 players from the Dolphins and 2 players from the Roosters. I thought that was a little bit unfair. You've got to look at it on its merits and see what happened here. It actually wasn't even that guy. It was Donahue that actually got him high. And, yeah, I just... Great theatre, but a bit unfair for the Dolphins, I thought.
What are they supposed to do? I don't know what they're supposed to do, the Dolphins players. Just stand there and let them...
Yeah. Yeah, there you go there. Jared Sutton said, I want 2 and 2. Look, that's not refereeing the game. That's trying to make it fair. That's not actually fair. Like, to call for 2 and 2, like, that's... I don't understand that.
Spencer Leniu was loving all of it. He's probably not well liked in Queensland as it is, but the fact that when he was coming off, they were giving it to him, later scored a try and did the shush to the crowd. He's someone that he feeds off that, doesn't he?
Yeah. Oh, that would have been terrifying when he was coming at you with his fists up. That's the way he plays.
Is it a line to...
Well, it's a fine line, but that's the way he plays.
Well, it can cost you.
Yeah, it can cost you.
It can cost you. And it'll cost you... If it does cost you, it'll be in an important moment. So, you know, somewhere between here and the big games that hopefully they're going to play in, that there needs to be a small change.
It's pretty wild to think now that the Roosters... At the start of the season, we spent all off-season really talking about the players and experience that they'd lost, but Trent Robinson really backed their younger players and they were confident in their systems. And, I mean, James Tedesco's been phenomenal. Sam Walker's made a big difference since coming back, and now they could be playing finals footy. Well,
Sam Walker could make the difference. He's playing outstanding. I think they have an incredibly great balanced team. Their wingers are athletic. They can score from high balls. They're great out of the backfield. Their captain and fullback is a star. He's playing as good as I've ever seen him play. And then they're through the middle of the field. They have power. They got Leniu, Lindsay Collins, Nafahu White. Like, they're a footy team. I don't know if anyone's sort of looking over their shoulder at the Roosters, but they're sitting in 9th position at the moment. The teams that need to be looking over their shoulders are the Warriors, Broncos, Sharks and Dolphins, because they're currently sitting in that bottom half of the 8. The Roosters could leapfrog the lot of them.
We spoke about that. The top 4 won and the bottom 4 lost. And then all of a sudden the Roosters sit just below them, one of the more talented teams. And, you know, a lot of those players are used to big games, so it'll be interesting back into the season.
Points were handy too, the differential.
Yeah.
Especially against the Dolphins.
The Dolphins, yeah.